Never serve jury duty. It's just the most ridiculous thing, and you really see how stupid people are.
See, before when I heard jury duty, I'm like, oh, you get to do cases and stuff. You get to, all this shit. That seems cool.
It was a case.
It was a case, but you think like, oh, you're gonna do cool shit. Nah,
no,
man.
Dude.
Nah, that's what I thought in the beginning.
It's fucking stupid as shit.
No.
It was ridiculous. This dumb cheating bitch, and she's like trying to make her husband, look like a fucking abuser, and there's no proof whatsoever. And she's like, well, he did it. He's sending me text messages of he's stalking me and all this shit. And I'm like, okay. And we're waiting for the text messages to be submitted as evidence. And we're like, oh, no text messages? Oh, okay. So then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah. No phone either.
No phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, he cracked my phone. He threw it down. He didn't want me to call the police. No, there's no phone. There's no phone whatsoever. There were no pictures of the phone. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And he didn't take the phone.
Man.
If anything, what happened was she was cheating with this dude who was a building inspector.
Yeah.
For the county of Orange.
Yeah.
And she fucking she blames
everything on him.
She blames everything on her husband.
Yeah.
And she's trying to set her husband up so that she can take all the money in the divorce.
Yeah.
And she's just a fucking vindictive cunt. And it was like the worst case. It was like airing their fucking divorce trial, but like a criminal trial.
Something that you would see on Judge Judy.
It was ridiculous. It should have been on Judge Judy. It probably would have been a better fucking time if I was in Judge Judy there.
Well, this is the judicial system, so
Damn, dude. It was the stupidest thing. And then my fucking, not mine, but the prosecutor, he looked like Mahal. And he's this tiny little like Indian guy. And I swear to God, he looked like he was 15. He even said, he's like, I know I look like I'm 15. And he cracked joke. And I'm just like, you do. That's not a joke. That's just reality. You look like fucking Mahal.
Mahal.
Yeah. It's like ridiculous. And this bitch gets on and she's lying through her goddamn teeth on the fucking witness stand. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you are such a lying cunt. And then her husband gets on and he's all calm.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, she's the one who hit me. She's blaming me. I don't know why. I love her. Da-da-da-da-da. She's a great mother and all this good shit about her. And she's sitting there like talking all this shit about him. You know what I hope he does now that he won the case? And I gave him like a thumbs up after I left.
Yeah.
Because no, seriously, I was like thumbs up, dude. I was like, you're free now. And I gave him a thumbs up. And I even got the
That's so corny, dude. Give him a thumbs up. It's like the fucking Sandlot at the end when Rodriguez gives a little thumbs up.
It really was, wasn't it? I should have done that. And then I even talked to the defense attorney and I was like, hey, can I get your business card? Not that I'll ever need it, but you never know. He's like, don't worry. There's a black sheep in every family. He's like, you don't look like the one, though, but give it to your brother or sister. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
This is episode 9, everybody. Welcome to Shock Talk.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
And we are talking about a 3-part episode here. This is the part 1 of 3 parts, hopefully, here, if we don't fuck up the other 2.
We won't.
But it's going to be a 3-part episode on consciousness.
Yes.
And exploring your consciousness.
This is something that you've been looking forward to, Ricky.
God, I love it because we get to talk about drugs.
Yeah.
And I love talking about drugs.
You love drugs.
I love talking about drugs, and I do love drugs.
Yeah.
I don't do drugs. Well, I do some, but I don't do all drugs.
Okay.
Some, if it's natural, it grows on the ground, it's probably okay. I'm just going to say
that's what I'm saying, yeah. I told my friend that yesterday. We were talking about it.
Oh, so I'm sure he's pretty amped about it.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time because I think consciousness is one of these things that like it helps you confront who you are as a human being, and if you don't know yourself, you won't know where you're going.
Yeah.
And so I think a big issue with people nowadays is they never know like what the fuck they're doing with their life.
It's a mindless world we're living in.
We're all like zombies just walking through.
Society.
Yeah. And it's just society's on this like fucking momentum where we're all just doing the same shit every day, all the time. And it's just this pattern that we follow because we've always followed it. And now it's time to break that pattern and do some real investigating and some soul searching. And, regardless if you believe in the soul or not, you can look inside and see what the fuck you truly believe is who you are. So the first part here is where we're just going to talk about consciousness, introduce it, talk about some cool, interesting facts about consciousness, and some crazy shit that I showed you pictures of.
Oh yeah.
And we're just going to really talk about that. Second episode, we're going to take part in an investigation of our own consciousness.
A
huge investigation. And it's going to involve a 2-hour float session inside of a basically an isolation chamber, an isolation tank. And we won't be in the chamber with each other because that would be weird because you have to be naked when you're in the fucking chamber.
No.
Yeah. So, but we each get our own chamber.
Yeah.
And not that there's anything wrong with that. No. I mean, like, dudes want to get naked and hang out with each other. That's cool.
Well,
that's your deal.
That's your deal.
But I don't want to do that. That's not my deal. So, and then the third episode, we're just going to recap our experience and talk with a friend who's going to go through the experience with us for the first time, and we're going to get everybody's take. So it's going to be 3 of us on the last episode.
It'll be like our first guest to have on our show, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And he's he's a buddy I've known for quite some time. I like to call him a psychonaut because he's done a bunch of drugs, and he's lived overseas. He knows what life is like in Europe and in America and North America, and he's experienced a lot of different ventures into his own consciousness, and I kind of want him to talk about that. So yeah, that's gonna be like our first guest, but it's gonna be a recap episode plus interview of him, and it's gonna be a bunch of things. So hopefully everybody here is listening and they like what we have to say. Otherwise, I don't know what the fuck you're listening about.
Also, with the second part of the episode, I just want to add, we're going to do like a little road trip to the tank.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about what we're going to experience first. What do we think we're going to experience? And then it's basically going to be like a little journey. Then we'll go straight to the podcast.
Yeah. So we'll actually have, on our YouTube page, we'll actually have some of the footage.
Yeah.
And the audio might seem a little off on the next episode if you're an audio only person listening to this podcast, because we're going to be ripping it from the video.
Yeah.
But if you watch it on YouTube, it'll feel much better, much more clean, much better, and you'll like it more.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I did want to ask was, Matt, what do you think about consciousness? Like, what do you think consciousness is to you? Like, what is that?
I think consciousness is really, it's like a little part of your brain that wants to find or wants to do these things that you normally don't experience in life. Let's just say like death, for example.
Mm-hmm.
We're all gonna die someday, right?
Wait, we are?
Yeah.
I'm gonna die?
Ricky.
Oh, fuck.
You can't live this long.
They've lied to me my whole life.
Yeah, what'd they tell you?
God damn it.
What'd they tell you, Ricky? Yeah.
Well, I gotta talk to the doctor now.
I hate to break it to you.
God damn it.
Anyways, like I said, we're all gonna die someday. And I feel that wherever you're gonna go, there's gonna be a different, whatever you believe in, a different world you're gonna experience. And I think that's gonna be all from like what you think in your brain, in my opinion.
So you're linking consciousness to your brain.
Yeah.
See, I have an issue with that. And the thing is, and that's actually leads me to the next question is, does the brain equal your mind? And if so, is your mind your consciousness?
Yeah.
I personally don't think that's true.
You don't think that?
No, because I don't think you can measure consciousness. I don't think that's something that you can say, oh, yeah, that's the part of the brain. That's it. That's where consciousness comes from. We can pluck it out and then put it somewhere else, and it's still consciousness.
I don't think it's like in your brain in general. I think it's like floating around like some sort of like gas inside your head or whatever that just makes you experience these things or something. I don't know.
So you think it's like a would you compare it to like that episode of The Simpsons where Bart sells his soul?
Yeah.
Okay. So you think it's like a soul kind of
sort of, yeah,
in your head.
I think consciousness is more, yeah, like you said, like a soul basically. It's like an out of body type experience type deal.
So it's something that's intangible.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree, but I don't think it's something like that. Like, see, what I would liken it to is, I think consciousness is part of every cell in your body. There's a piece of you in all of your cells. Now I know, like, when you like scratch your skin, you lose skin cells, and when you like
go to
fucking
sleep,
masturbate and you jizz, you're losing cells there. But I'm not saying like you're losing a piece of yourself, but what I'm saying is I think there's pieces of you all over you.
Yeah.
And it's hard to isolate just that one portion of you that is you.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that gives you consciousness is truly who you are as a being, like as a human being, and as just a being in the universe.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why I say it's not the brain thing, and it's because I talked to you about it a little bit, but it's the example of the Frenchman.
Okay.
So for listeners who have no idea what I'm talking about, there is a Frenchman, if you are familiar, maybe some of you are, maybe some of you aren't, there's a medical journal in England called The Lancet. It's one of the most popular medical journals in the world. You have to be a doctor usually, or at least in the medical field, to write for them. And then they vet your articles quite a bit. There's been some controversy about The Lancet because the guy that talked about how vaccines are linked to autism, he published his work initially in The Lancet, but then they retracted it because they realized he based his articles on nothing. He made up his shit.
Wow.
So all his data was made up.
What a piece of shit.
He is a piece of shit, and I think he's in jail now. I'm not sure.
Is he really?
I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
If not, he should be because he's a cunt. Because there's a lot of kids that died of measles after that.
Fuck, dude.
But in 2007, The Lancet did an article about a Frenchman who literally is missing 90% of his brain.
Wow.
We're going to link the article, not the Lancet article, but an article that talks about it in another website to our episode description. And basically the guy was 44 years old at the time. He lived his whole life without realizing anything was wrong with him. And he went to the doctor just one day out of the blue because he was feeling some weakness in his left leg. So he went to the doctor, and the doctor decided, okay, well, let's do a brain scan. Let's see what's going on, because maybe whatever's causing the weakness in your leg is
like a stroke.
Yeah, maybe you're having a stroke.
Yeah.
And so they decided to do a brain scan. Well, when you look at his brain scan and the pictures in the article, he's literally like, his brain is hollowed out. Like, no fucking joke. It's like, it's hollow, and there's just a thin layer of brain tissue around an empty nothing. Like, there's nothing there. Almost like it should collapse in on itself, but because it's actually filled with liquid.
Yeah.
And it's because he had hydrocephalopathy when he was a kid. That's like water in the brain.
Oh, okay.
And so he actually had stents put in, and when he was a kid, and he had them removed when he was 14 because the doctor's like, oh, you'll be fine. Don't worry. Your condition's treated, blah, blah, blah. This guy lived his whole life missing 90% of his brain and didn't know anything was wrong with him. And he had an IQ of 75, which isn't great.
Standard,
it's not, but it's average.
Yeah, it's average, yeah.
And it's not legally retarded, because it'd be 60 or below would be legally retarded. And he was married. Yeah. He had 2 kids. And in fact, he was a civil servant, which I guess means you can pretty much hire anyone to work for the government. It doesn't really matter if they have a brain or not.
Yeah.
So, because in this case, he didn't have one.
Welcome to the government. You got no brain? Get the fuck in here.
They're like, we don't need you. We don't need you to think. We just need you to do what we tell you. Go fuck yourself.
90% of your brain is lost. Don't worry about it. Man.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. We good. That's fine. No problem.
Look at all these other people.
Yeah. These are all mindless zombies too. Oh, welcome to the DMV.
Welcome to the DMV, yeah.
Oh my God. So he lived his whole life missing 90% of his brain. So that's why when we were talking about it, Matt, I was like, there's no way your brain can be linked to your consciousness.
That's weird.
Because how can this guy be alive?
That's true. Yeah. I don't know. That's some freaky shit, man. Just to live your whole life without a piece of part of your brain gone in general, it's like
literally like almost the whole brain. Not just
whole
a part
brain.
of your brain,
and
he
still managed to live a full happy life.
Yeah. And he didn't have a speech impediment. He didn't like slur or like talk weird or have logic issues.
Except for that one day his leg was just jacked up.
Yeah, he felt some weakness in his leg. So he's like, oh, let me go see what's going on here. And then they did a scan, and boom. The doctor's like, you feeling okay? He's like, yeah, why? He's like, because you don't have a fucking brain, dude. Your brain's gone. He's probably like, what?
Okay.
It's not like he was Forrest Gump. He's like, what? Is this my magic brain?
Mama always told me this magic brain would work.
Oh my God. My favorite part of that movie was when he comes out of the the principal fucks his mom.
Oh.
And he's like, and then he comes out and he's like, boy, your mama sure does love your education, son. And he's just sitting there on the porch.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't talk much, do you? Yeah. And he looks at me just like,
fuck, dude.
Oh
what a
God.
Savage.
He is, isn't he? God, I was watching that yesterday. I was like, Tom Hanks is the best actor in the world. He can play a retard and still win an Academy Award. Because it wasn't like when Sean Penn played a retard.
Oh, yeah.
Because when he did that, he went full retard. And everybody's like, no, we can't give him an award because he actually
that's actually
like,
him
retarded.
in real life, yeah.
I don't think Sean Penn's retarded in
Oh, he's
real
not?
life.
Oh, shit. Sorry, Sean Penn.
You're like, well, you could have fooled me.
Whoops. Guess you're not coming on the podcast.
I am Sam. No, I'm just joking.
God damn it, Ricky.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to hell. Anyways,
so on.
Obviously scientists haven't linked your brain to your consciousness, which is why I was kind of arguing with you a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And we were going, when we were going over the episode beforehand and we were talking about it, and I was like, there's no way your brain's linked to it. I mean, your brain may control your body, but even then, how the fuck did this guy live?
Yeah.
And with mild weakness in his left
people would say
leg.
By luck, but I don't think it was luck.
Do you believe in luck? Or do you think you make your own
I'm conflicted.
Luck?
Yeah, I don't believe in luck that much.
You don't?
No.
Wow.
I don't believe in it.
Well, look at you.
Ho ho.
Ho ho.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So it's unlikely that any one specific reason the brain is controlling your consciousness or your consciousness is controlling your brain, or we just really don't know what it is. And so it's obviously something that's intangible. It can't be measured. But do you think, in your opinion, that one day science could measure it? I know this is a Black Mirror reference.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Personally, do you think we could?
I think we could, yeah. I think there would be a day and age where we can. That would be awesome. I would be all for that. But
do you think we'll be alive at the time or no?
Yeah, I think we will. I think it's coming sooner than later, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
I
hope so. That'll be fucking awesome, dude.
Well, that's actually like, I don't know if you've done any research on this, Matt, but there's a thing called the singularity.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, where machine and man will unionize.
Yeah.
And our consciousness will be uploaded to machines.
Yeah, I've read about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So you think that could happen in our lifetime?
Yeah, with the way we're going, I believe so.
But if that's true, and you're in, like for example, Black Mirror, if you're in that little bean, that chip shit.
Yeah.
Or you're in San Junipero.
Yeah.
Is that really you? Or is it not you? Because technically, if you're in a machine, is that really you?
No, I don't believe so. No. That's just a little piece of you.
You don't think that's the whole picture?
Like a Matrix. You know how Matrix is, right? Like a different dimension, basically. Yeah. I think, this is off topic, but I do think, like, Fringe, for example.
Okay.
Right? There's a different dimension in Fringe. There's
different universes.
Different universes.
Right.
I think these two universes have, obviously they have different personalities.
Yeah.
So I do think like...
And there's only like a little bit off.
Yeah.
From one
only
universe to the
little
other.
bit off. So let's, we could be doing something completely different than what we're doing now.
Oh, yeah.
So
we're like finger popping our assholes in that universe. And just...
Well, I don't know about finger popping assholes, but you do you, Ricky.
I'm just saying, in some universe there's a Ricky that's gay. In some universe.
Yeah, maybe there's
not in this one. That's for sure.
That'd be weird. I would like to meet that man.
You're like, then how the fuck would we meet? Oh my God.
Do you need to go over the details?
Well, but like, okay, so you don't think it would be part of if their singularity did happen?
Yes.
And man and machine unionized, and we could upload our consciousness to a machine. You don't think that would be us?
No.
However, and then you just quickly mentioned, like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Who's to say we're not already in one?
That's something, Oh.
That's simulation.
That's I always do think like we're in some sort of a simulation. I've thought of this for such a long time.
Yeah.
We're in some sort of simulation, and once we wake up, it's going to be like the near distant future. and it's gonna be like, oh, we looked over like your past and all this stuff, and this is basically how you were in the in the past. This is gonna be you now or something. Basically, they're they're training you. Yeah, like a reset type deal. They're like, we're doing this now, right?
Right.
And you have a job, obviously. I have a job. So whatever we're doing will, like, I don't want to say like it will come together in like the near distant future when we do wake up. Once we do die, let's just say from this simulation, we're gonna have like some sort of like different type field job or something.
What?
Yeah, that's what I always think. Like, I think I think once we die, I think when we do wake up, there's gonna be something more to it. I don't know.
So okay, wait. I'm confused. So you're saying if we are in the Matrix, so it's quote unquote Matrix.
Yeah.
I keep doing this and I'm realizing nobody's looking at me except for you. Yeah. So, okay, I gotta do the bunny ears on quote unquote Matrix. Let's say we're in the quote unquote Matrix, and we die in that Matrix universe.
I'm just saying in general. Like, you mentioned simulation,
right?
I think we're in a simulation. I'm not speaking Matrix.
You think right now we are currently in a simulation?
This is a simulation right now. Like the same.
So when I'm touching this MacBook, I'm not actually touching this MacBook. I'm getting a sensation put onto my fingers, into my neural brain
to touch it.
But okay, if we're now we're way off topic.
Yeah, we are.
But I don't give a shit. This is interesting. Let's follow down this rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
If we are in this Matrix world or whatever the fuck you were talking about, Matt.
Yeah.
Why are we in it? And what's the purpose? And who?
The higher power.
So who is controlling us in this?
I don't know. That's what we don't know until we die.
So you think when we die in the Matrix, we're revealed to the reality that we're in a simulation?
Yeah.
And then we can actually live?
Yeah. That's what I think.
So you think this is like a trial?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
This is like beta mode.
Yeah.
And then we can go to the actual alpha mode.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Part of me is like, you're full of shit.
I'm not full of shit. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Why do you think that?
It's a weird thing.
We're getting deep into what Matthew thinks right now.
No, really.
We're really getting deep into who you are as a person.
I've really thought of this. I've thought of this for like a long time. I don't know what like brought me, like what sparked it in my head. But just thinking
the movie
about
The Matrix, perhaps?
Yeah, I don't know. Not The Matrix, but maybe one day I just sat down and thought about life in general, and I thought maybe this is like not really. This world is like you said, some sort of a trial to what reality really is once we do wake up from like a simulation, let's just say.
Okay.
So I don't know. I thought of that for such a long time, and it just came to fruition. I'm just like, oh, what happens if this is this is like a simulation, or maybe this and that, whatever. Maybe if we do die, we go to heaven. Yeah. I don't know. There's different things that.
You don't think it's like a reset button? Like when we die, it's just like a reset and then you live another life?
That's another thing I thought of too. I really did. Like maybe once you do die, you have another chance to live like a different life, but in a different type of role than what we're living in now. So that's another thing I thought of.
So like if you're like a fucking... I don't know. If you're a doctor in this life, in the next life, you could be like a fucking prostitute or something.
Let's just say you could like pick whatever you want to do once you do die, and then bam, you could just go live your life, push the reset button, and do it.
Well, in my next life, I want to be a well-hung billionaire with wings.
Yeah?
And I'm just joking.
Well, Hugh Hefner.
That guy's not a billionaire anymore.
Well,
he was never a billionaire.
Yeah, well, he gets those pussies.
Yeah, but he has to use Viagra to get those pussies because he's old as fuck and his dick doesn't work.
Well, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point of fucking that many females if your dick doesn't work? And you should just get a robot dick at that point. And then you won't even feel anything. And then the females will feel a little bit better because they're like, oh, well, that's not really your dick, because he's like an old piece of cud,
Hey, yay. That's Hugh Hefner you're talking about, man.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
All right, good.
I don't know the guy.
Let's get him on the podcast.
I don't owe him anything.
No, you're right.
I mean, he's got to be like hard up for money. China like bought the Playboy magazine brand and all that shit. So
they did
give him like $10, he might show up here.
Hey.
Or give him a free Viagra pill.
Comes to the door.
As long as he doesn't use it here to fuck us.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
I mean, never mind. Anyways.
So I'm just really interested in that fucking, That's like insane to me. The fact that you think we're living in a simulation.
Oh yeah,
I
thought of
don't.
that.
But
I mean, if you could believe it or not, I don't.
No,
care.
no, no. I know. I understand. But
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing that I
it would take a massive amount of computing power to have all of us uploaded into this simulation.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's in the near distant future. Anyways, we're getting off topic.
We're getting off topic. Okay, all right.
Let's get back on track.
That should be another episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, one of the things that I asked you earlier, but you didn't really answer, is your consciousness your soul?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I could see that. Yeah.
See, for me, you're half right. Yes, it's your soul.
What do you think?
But I think it's just your awareness.
Your awareness.
Your awareness of your awareness and perception. So it's like a combination of reality, physically based things, and then non-tangible things, like together. I don't even know how to explain it, but I think it's like it's a little based in reality, and it's a little based in
like
non-reality.
Non-reality?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, but
like a fictional.
Not fiction, but like it's like stuff that can't be, like, for example, like when you have or when you're like really sad, right?
Okay.
And it's something that's like breaking your heart down to your core.
Okay.
Right? You feel, at least me, if I was in that position, you feel as that like it hurts even your soul to move at that point. Because you're so sad about something.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you lose somebody very important to you, and you're just like, you're devastated at that point, right?
Yeah.
It hurts even your consciousness to me at that point. Like, it's almost like a stain or like a pinprick to your consciousness.
So like emotions, basically, different types of emotions affect the way you live. Basically.
Yeah. Like, so it's like your emotional mind and then your physical mind, and it's like the union between the two. To me, that's how I see your consciousness. It's like it's a little bit of
think of that.
both.
No. Okay.
I don't know what that term is, if there's a term for that.
Well, we can make one up.
It's a good half and half.
Half and half.
Yeah, not like you like the shit you put in your coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
You just get some cartons of half and half. It's the same shit. So to me, that's
a kind of good insight. Really, different types of emotions.
Oh, you make me feel smart now.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
Oh well,
No,
that's what I'm here for.
So it's okay. So you said, maybe your soul, and I agree. It's like half your soul, but it's like half your emotional mind.
Yeah.
And it's like together, it's a union. Now, let's say, for example, because you said science one day can maybe measure your consciousness or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that your soul has actual weight to it?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe not as much as they think. Maybe. So I don't know.
There was an interesting experiment that was done a while ago.
Okay. And
there's this rumor, or not rumor, but this it's like a myth that your soul has weight. And the weight of your soul is 21 grams. Hence the movie 21 grams with Naomi Watts and Sean Penn.
Sean Penn.
I am Sam. No, I'm just I feel so bad. I need to stop doing that.
No shit.
Holy shit. We are going to get protesters.
Yeah, well, at least they don't know where we live.
That's true. Yeah. Anyways, so Sean Penn, not when he was in I Am Sam, but when he was in 21 Grams, and Naomi Watts, and I forgot who else is in it, but some people are in it. People that exist, they're in it. And they claim that the soul, when it leaves the body after death, weighs exactly 21 grams. And this was based on an experiment where this guy who was a real person, a human, who decided, I want to weigh I want to see what the soul weighs. Okay. So he took people that were literally on their deathbed.
Wow.
Like, no joke. And he decided, I'm going to make them really comfortable, and I'm going to put them on a bed that's it's like a weighing machine. And the second that they just breathe their last breath, I'm going to take a reading of their body. And so I'm going to take a reading of their body before, and then when they die, right after they die, I'm going to take another measurement, and it's going to determine without a doubt that their soul weighs such and such weight.
What the fuck kind of dude is this?
An asshole, obviously, because you're using
breath.
dying people to fucking make your experiments.
Hey, Margaret, you're gonna land this bed, and when you die, I'm gonna measure your soul. Is that okay with you?
Good. And it's gonna be totally legit. And we're gonna make you comfortable.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry. It's like
gonna give you a foot rub.
I'm hearing like Donald Trump in my ear. Like when he says shit like that, he's like, it's gonna be the best death. It's gonna be the best. We're gonna put you on the scale. It's gonna be wonderful. You're gonna be fantastic.
We're gonna put a wall around you.
And then when you're dead, we're gonna put the wall. It's gonna be the best wall ever. And
you sound like a fucking Italian Trump.
He sounds like fucking, I don't know. He's Jersey, whatever he is. But he did this. He actually did this with people.
Wow.
Human beings.
That's pretty fucked.
And he was determined to measure this shit out. And well, he measured shit, that's for sure. Because the thing that happens when you die is you actually relinquish your bowels. And shit comes out of your ass.
Yeah.
And other things come out of you, including urine and, saliva and all kinds of shit and gases.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you do lose weight when you die. But that's only because physical things are coming out of your body that you cannot control. Because when you're dead, your sphincter muscles don't fucking work anymore.
The fucking guy's like, oh shit, it's gaining a lot of pain. Oh, that's a piece of shit.
Yeah. I like imagine he was like sitting there in this like hospital. Like he probably made this hospital in this like fucking warehouse in the back of his house or some shit. And he's like sitting there and he's measuring this people. Oh, don't worry, Gladys. You're gonna go to a wonderful place. And I just think Gladys is like an old woman name, and it's such a sweet name. If I ever met a woman named Gladys, I'd give her a hug. And I just, don't worry. It's good. It's fine. Just breathe your last breath. It's fine. And some part of me is thinking, he smothered these fucking people. He's
a fucking, like Hannibal Lecter.
No. Like, Kevorkian. Dr. Kevorkian.
Yeah. Shit.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. You want to kill yourself, you go ahead and do it. But, don't bring me into it, is what I'm trying to say. But he actually did this. And so there's this rumor because of his study for years, like decades, that the soul has weight. Because he didn't realize that the things coming out of people's body was shit.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
I'm a dumbass.
Yeah. And this is a scientist and a medical doctor.
Quote unquote now.
Doctors use this method to diagnose people that I learned about when I was going through pharmacy training. And it's called the WAG method. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's called, it stands for wild ass guess. And so basically they think they know, but they don't know. But they think they know. And because they're doctors and they went to school for 10 years, they know. But they don't.
But they don't.
They don't. Any idiot with a fucking WebMD connection can diagnose themselves for most things.
That's true, yeah. My foot hurts. WebMD.
Coincidentally, if you have a pet, don't use PetMD. Because that shit panics you like crazy. Yeah, that's a real thing.
Oh my god.
That's a website. And everything is like your pet's gonna die. So don't look at that shit. Because like, oh my god, your pet's eye is like a little droopy, or not droopy, but like liquidy. And they're like, oh my god, your pet's having a stroke. Really? Your pet's having a stroke? Oh, there's flowers outside. There's probably fucking allergies. That's what it is.
Yeah.
People are fucking dumb.
Oh, well.
But anyways, this is what that doctor did. This cunt bag piece of shit who did this. So for decades, this was a thing. And even the movie was based on this premise.
Really?
Yes. So the soul doesn't actually have a weight. There's no weight to the soul. Because if it did, don't you think we'd fucking know?
True.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So, again,
I don't think the soul has any weight whatsoever.
And it probably won't. And even if we could measure the fact that the soul exists or doesn't exist, why would we measure its weight?
Yeah. It's like air. Air can't weigh anything.
Well, you can weigh air.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I was like, you're wrong on that, man.
You're a scientist. Never mind.
I'm not a scientist, but I do know that you can weigh air.
Well, I'm not a scientist, so I wouldn't know.
But so earlier when I was talking about how in my not religious belief, but in my spiritual belief, I think every part of your body has some sort of piece of your consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are actually some religions that agree with me. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm saying there are people out there that also agree with me. And one of the cool people are the Sikhs. Sikhs. They're the dudes that wear turbans on their head.
Oh, okay.
A lot of gold jewelry.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they run liquor stores.
Badasses.
Yes. And they are great people. They are fantastic people. But that under that turban, all their hair. They don't believe in like shaving their hair or cutting their hair. And it's because it's like a piece of them or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm not fucking Sikh. But I think it's fucking amazing that they can do that.
I think that's pretty, yeah.
I don't know.
I've never heard of that before.
I can't imagine how much Head and Shoulders they go through.
A lot. Dude, I could just imagine like a little swirl, like a chocolate swirl.
I know.
All the way up in that tube.
You're thinking like a dookie.
Like a dookie, yeah.
Like a chocolate
no,
dookie.
Just imagine, it's like a little dookie. Once they take off that towel, it's like all foamed up.
I don't think it's a towel, dude. I think it's like cloth or some
cloth or whatever, yeah. It's like all foamed up and shit.
I read somewhere, maybe I didn't read somewhere. I think a friend of mine was Sikh, and he told me, he's like, the bigger your turban, the more important you are, or some shit like that. I don't know if that's true, but if we have any Sikh listeners, could you please tweet me that shit to me?
We can't say turban. Is turban a bad term or no?
Turban? No.
No?
Why is that a bad term?
I thought it's
a piece of clothing. It's like a headwear.
All right.
That's like the hijab for Islam, Muslim people.
Okay.
So you could say that.
Okay. All right.
Now, if you were to say the other term, you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Then, in case you don't know what it is, raghead. Don't ever say that, because that's rude. You would never want to say that, but that is wrong.
It is.
Don't say that. And that's not even for Sikhs, I believe.
Mm.
The thing that pisses me off is Sikhs are always lumped in with Muslims. And so, like, whenever there's a terrorist attack happen, there's like a ton of Sikhs that get attacked. And it's like, you fucking idiots. They're Hindus. They're not Muslims. They have multiple gods.
It's the world we live in.
Oh my God. Jesus. Anyways, so that's one of them. And then like Native Americans, Native Americans. Yeah. They believe that like if you lose a piece of yourself, so like if you have like an amputation or some shit, you actually have to bury it.
Whoa.
As like a piece of you, and I don't know, it has to like return to the earth.
Amputate
or some shit.
Your dick.
Yeah, well, let's not get that far. I mean, some people want to, if you want to cut your dick off, you go ahead and cut your dick off.
Well.
Just don't cut my dick off.
Why would they cut you? Never mind. Whatever. Go on.
And then some my friends called the Amish or the Amish. For those of you who are the Amish, and those are the dudes with the neck beards. And they look like they're on the Quaker Oats box.
I could grow out an Amish beard.
Yeah, I could grow a mean ass Amish beard because I could grow nothing on my cheeks.
Oh yeah, I could grow one out pretty bad
for sure. It's weird though. I can have like an Asian stash, and then I can have like a neck beard.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a style though. I think that's kind of.
I have the same thing.
Really?
Sometimes, yeah. Well, I have the mustache and then.
But is it the Asian stash?
I don't know.
Like my hair on my mustache like flares out.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
And then I get the neck, like the sick ass neck beard.
Yeah.
I could be like a Vietnamese Amish guy, Except I don't look Vietnamese.
Well, you could pass for one if you have that, apparently.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Work on that, Ricky.
And then like ancient Jews. I don't know why I said it like that.
Ancient Jews.
Why did I say it that way? Holy shit. I swear to God, I haven't been drinking today. I mean, I've had this like silly straw beer, but that's it. Okay. Ancient Jews, not Jews. Ancient Jews. Like in the time of Solomon.
Yeah.
And one of them, I forgot, had like a thing where you couldn't cut his hair off. Was that Solomon? Or was that? God, I am really bad with biblical shits.
Solomon. I don't know. I'm bad with religion too.
Am so bad with the Bible.
Don't even ask me about religion. I'm bad with them.
Oh my God. I went to Catholic school for 4 years. I learned nothing about the Bible. All I learned about was the fucking Pope and like to stay away from the priest because he's going to touch your dick.
Well, yeah, no, there you go.
Yeah. Super nice priest though. I swear to God.
Yeah. Okay.
Only touched it a couple of times. I'm just kidding. You're like, I'm done. I'm out. We're offending everyone today in this episode.
All right,
and
let's keep this going.
But yeah, he had like some. I think it was Solomon or it was Samson. That's the guy.
Okay.
Samson. If you cut his hair off, he loses his strength or some shit.
Strength. Okay.
Yeah. Don't you remember that?
I don't remember that. No.
You didn't really go to church that much.
I don't go to church. No.
Yeah. I know. Well, that shit was like pounded in my head as a kid, you know, going to church and they're like, you got to learn this shit because it's important because the end of the world's coming and Jesus is going to take the people that know the most. It's like fucking end of times Jeopardy and Jesus is going to take you because you read the book.
Me and JC upstairs, we got a long going relationship, man. How you doing, brother?
Oh my God. Imagine he comes down and he's going to be like, no. I said, don't read the book. Don't. What the fuck, guys? What the fuck?
Told you. And I'm like sitting there like, I fucking told you.
Yeah, we told you. So you shouldn't have read the book.
God damn it.
He said, don't study.
Don't study.
Don't study. It's open book.
You fucking jackasses.
The test is going to be open book. Don't worry about it. But they didn't believe in cutting your hair or shaving or some shit like that. And in fact, some Orthodox Jews to this day will grow their hair long on the side as curls.
Oh, yeah.
And Hasidic Jews. Hasidic. Not Hasidic. Hasidic. And they do that as well. So I don't know if that actually has to link to the consciousness thing or if that's like some kind of holy thing.
So every single religion that you spoke of, whatever you do, basically would take away some sort of physical being of yourself, from strength to everything, because they believe in that type of stuff, which is pretty, bizarre, but still, it's like that's unique.
It's unique. It's interesting.
It is,
but it's also at the same time I wonder, and this pops the question in my head: did they cut their nails? Because otherwise they're gonna be like that black woman that was in the
that's what
Guinness
I'm
Book of
saying,
World Records where her nails were really long, and she's like typing on the keyboard. And she's like, "I know Shaquisha," like
why Shakisha?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But why Shakisha?
I don't know. I was just thinking of a name. I was like, I don't fucking know. But I think that has something to do the whole like don't cut your hair, I mean, I don't know if it's not trim your fingernails. I'm assuming you can because I've never met a Sikh person.
I don't think you can.
I've never met an ancient Jew either because I wasn't alive during the time of Solomon, but at least I don't think I was. And I've never met a Sikh person who had really long nails.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you can cut your nails. I mean, it's just the hair.
You would think, your nails are part of your body. So
right, but if you cut them off, like, is that a bad thing?
I don't know. Maybe there's like certain things you can and cannot cut. Maybe, I don't know.
So if you're a Jew, you can cut your dick because it's circumcision. That's fine because that's like your bond with God, right?
Yeah.
But you can't cut your hair if you were an ancient Jew. But like now it's okay. So like what I'm wondering is if Sikhs in the future, like 1,000 years from now, are they going to be able to cut their hair or not? Like, is the message going to change?
I don't know.
Wait, no. What the fuck am I thinking? Sikhs have been around for like thousands of years already, right? They're Hindus. They've been. What the fuck was I thinking? Obviously, they've been around just as long as probably Judaism has.
Yeah.
Whoa! I just had like a moment there.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Whoa! That was like a light bulb, like ding.
Yeah, I literally saw it go.
You saw it? It was like right above my head.
Yeah,
right?
I saw it. Yeah,
it was like The Sims.
It was like The Sims.
But if you did have to cut, or if you didn't cut your hair, like what if you got lice? That's a good question. I'm sure there's like an exemption.
I think there's something that they do to not be able
especially
to get
if you had like pubic
shit,
lice. If you had like pubic lice and you kept scrunching up on your cock, you definitely
if you
gotta
got
shave
pubic
your dick
lice,
hair.
you got a problem, all right?
I mean, it happens. There's like some parts of the world that aren't clean.
Well, yeah,
I'm not saying you're gonna get it because of sex. I'm saying you could get it because like the bed that you're sleeping in is like clean enough.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's
right.
a possibility.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything bad. It just happens. People get pubic lice.
Okay.
I've never had it. I've seen pictures of it. Looks disgusting. They look like tiny little crabs,
Ew.
Just like...
Because that's what they are. They're crabs.
Well, kind of. But so that goes along with my previous thing where like every piece of you has your consciousness. Have you heard of a thing called cell memory?
Cell memory. I've heard of it before, yeah.
So, people that get like transplants, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. So like there's stories and there's stories of people where they have heart transplants, for example, where they were like vegetarians and then they had a heart transplant and then they started eating meat like crazy. And it wasn't because of a medical issue.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that they got the transplant from was like a heavy meat eater.
Mm.
Or vice versa. They were a heavy meat eater, got a transplant, and then became vegetarian because meat disgusted them.
Mm.
And I think there is a study in epigenetics that says certain portions. Oh no, epigenetics is a different thing. Sorry, I'll mention that in a second. But every cell has a bit of your memory, or like a piece of you, right?
Yeah.
So like if you get a transplant from somebody, you could take on the characteristics of somebody that you took the transplant from. What would be freaky is if we started getting transplants from like murderers in prison.
Ooh,
you know,
weird, yeah.
And then like you were a nice, like pastor or something,
and
then
you turned to like a vicious murderer.
And you were like a crazy serial killer afterward because you got like a dick transplant or something. I don't think they can do that.
I don't think you can do that. No.
I'm wrong about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Ricky. I can't help you there.
Oh, damn. There goes my dream of having 2 dicks. Anyway.
Somewhere out there, there's a man.
So there's a man born with 2 dicks,
2
but you know what?
dicks.
Somewhere out there, there's a woman with 2 vaginas.
Oh, well.
And they can meet and fall in love.
Double penetration at its finest.
Well, I mean, you can do double penetration if you don't have 2 vaginas. Just one in the pink, one in the stink.
Yeah, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
No, that's the fingers. I'm saying if you have 2 dicks, though.
The shocker.
The shocker. I don't even know how to fucking do it. It's like, I don't fucking, whatever.
I'll teach you later.
Okay. Well, don't.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. Or like, don't teach me like that.
Just kidding, Ricky.
But I do see, okay, so cell memory, that is a thing. Now, this is where we dip into pseudoscience because there's no proof. I looked all over the web. There's no actual proof that your cells carry memory. There is proof that your DNA can carry memory.
Okay.
And that's called epigenetics. So I don't know if you've heard of this study, Matt, but there was a study that they did. I think it was at some university. I'm not sure if it was here in California or if it was somewhere else. But what they did was they took these mice and they put them in a cage, and on the bottom of the cage, they attached it to electricity. So whenever they flipped a switch, the bottom of the cage would become electric and it would zap the mice. And then they would release a smell like a lemon scent, so that the mice would associate lemon scent with pain. And then they bred a generation of mice to recognize that lemon scent and pain.
Okay.
Then they let the mice breed. Their kids were taken from them. Their offspring were taken from them, put in another cage. This is where PETA is going to be pissed because PETA, you know, they don't like animals.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, but first of all, fuck PETA. Second of all, the experiment itself, when they took the offspring and they put it in a cage, they didn't even electrify the floor of the cage, but they released the lemon scent. And what did the mice do? They had a reaction of fear. They crawled to the corner of the cage out of fear. And they did this continuously where they would release the lemon scent every once in a while. No electric charge. And then the mice would crawl into the corner out of fear.
What the?
So their offspring took on the trait of them. And we see this with time and time again with other breeding, you know, of animals where, you know, like there's certain ground squirrels or certain ground squirrels, I guess you could call them, where they're supposed to be afraid of hawks, right?
Yeah.
Because hawk will come
and
like
exactly.
get them. So they've taken ground squirrels that were raised domestically in cages, and then they put them out to, you know, run around.
Yeah.
And they put a fake hawk, and immediately they try and hide without knowing what a hawk even looks like because they've never seen one before. That's the first time.
That's interesting.
And it's memory that was transferred from genetic generation to another generation.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, is that consciousness? Is your DNA like the molecule inside of your cell that carries your consciousness? What the fuck is that about?
That's pretty like
I just blew your mind.
Genetics in general. That's something. Yeah. I don't know. It's freaky to think like from like your family members, you learn not to do what like your parents always say, don't grow up to be like me, right?
Well, I don't know.
Let's just say,
I don't think my parents said that, but
not like that, but like let's just say like your parents or whatever, like they say they don't want you to do the bad things that they did like back then. Let's just say They don't want to raise you.
Oh yeah,
like
obviously.
that, basically.
Yeah, most parents
raise your
say shit
kids
like that.
Raise your kids different. Or
Yeah.
how you always say, I don't want to raise my kids like that.
Yeah, that's
So-
a normal parent thing.
Yeah, it's a normal parent thing.
Yeah.
So I think like those kind of terms, it's like you don't go the same pathway as your family members, but I do think some genetics in general do carry over to yourself, personality wise, I believe. Like,
So like the saying like, oh God, I'm becoming more like my father.
yeah, becoming more your father or your mother.
That'd be fine. I love my dad. He's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, so I kind of think that's kind of true in
Really?
general with the genetics and everything. Yeah, I think that's pretty on point.
But do you think that your DNA
Is part of the
molecule-
consciousness.
Yeah. Do you think that that's linked to your consciousness somehow, or not? What do you think?
I don't
personally?
think. I don't know. I don't think it's linked to your consciousness. I think there's more to consciousness than DNA.
No, I know that there's more. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like in terms of physical, like something that we can measure. Is that something to you that could be the common link between the physical realm, this touch sensation world,
Yeah.
and the world that we can't see or feel?
And I'm gonna say no.
Really?
I don't think so. No.
Oh,
Well,
man.
actually, no.
I thought we'd be on the same wavelength on that one.
You agree though?
To me, I think that your DNA could be the piece in each one of your cells that carries the link to your consciousness.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily the sole thing that's linked to your consciousness. It's like something that you can't really measure it, but you can measure your DNA. We've sequenced DNA, we know what it looks like and all that kind of shit, but
Yeah.
we can't, it's not the only thing. There's something hidden
Yeah.
that we can't feel or see. And that's where your consciousness is, but this could be this physical like gateway
Okay.
into it. And so like your cells are like little gateways.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
All
That's
right, cool.
interesting.
Well, I did want to, I'm trying to segue into
Just
the next
just
thing.
thinking about it in general now.
If you feel it though,
Yeah.
right?
I could. Yeah. I might agree with you then. Yeah.
Cool. Then I don't feel like such a fucking
No.
moron.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting there talking.
now
I'm
that
just
you
like,
really describe
like,
it,
you get
if
it, right?
If
And you're
you
like,
describe
no.
If you describe it like that, then it kind of makes it more better that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
where like each your cell itself is like the physical house
Yeah.
of your consciousness, and then your DNA is like holding the key or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like the physical world or the world that we can't see, the unseen world, can be linked into it.
Yeah.
And so that kind of segues into the next thing, which is what I wanted to talk about, because we had mentioned, okay, so maybe your consciousness isn't linked to your brain, but if it's not linked to your brain, then why the fuck do drugs change your consciousness
Yeah.
sometimes?
Yeah. They do, don't they?
But, oh, yeah, they do. But the thing with the drug thing, okay, so everybody thinks, okay, drugs are going to go to your brain. Yes and no. Drugs don't always go to your brain. Drugs go to your cells, and they are taken in by receptors on your cell.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, a drug could affect any cell in your body. It doesn't just affect your brain. It could affect pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole class of drugs, and a lot of people like to call them hallucinogens. I don't like to call them hallucinogens because to me, a hallucination is something that is not based in reality. So I like to call them entheogens. And those are what they're a whole class of drugs that they do work on your brain, but they also work on cell receptors just in general. So is that the fucking,
I don't know.
I think that's the fucking elote guy.
Mm.
I told Ashley the other day, I was like, man, one of these days I'm going to go out there and get corn from that dude. I'm going to go out there and get corn from him.
Go eat corn.
Well,
Ashley should go eat corn.
fucking corn's good, dude.
It is.
Put some of that spicy shit on there.
Oh yeah.
I had heard today about she told me about the corn that you like rub in butter, and then you could put it in like hot Cheeto dust.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
That sounds good.
that's so good.
Huh.
Oh, the Mexican in me is like, yeah. Anyways, entheogens. So entheogens are like, they're considered like hallucinogens.
Okay.
But I don't like to call them that. I like to call them entheogens. And the most powerful one that I hope to do someday, but I haven't done it yet, is DMT. DMT. Wow, that guy's really close. I can like hear his fucking little squawky fucking horn and shit.
They'll hear it on the podcast. So.
God damn it. Everybody here's gonna be like, oh man, I want elotas now. Fuck. But DMT is called, it's short. It's literally DMT, and it stands for dimethyltryptamine. It's known as the spirit molecule. Do you know why it's called the spirit molecule?
Why is it called the spirit molecule?
Because it's actually in your pineal gland. Ooh. You produce it naturally in your body. And we believe, and we've only recent studies have shown that this is possibly the thing that is released when you dream. So that's why when you have crazy ass vivid dreams, maybe you're getting an overdose of DMT from your pineal gland into your brain. And so that's the thing that caused like the hallucinatory kind of feeling in your dream where everything's kind of cloudy and glowy and all kinds of shit, you know?
Yeah.
And I dream in black and white actually, so I know when I'm dreaming.
Okay.
But do you dream in black and white?
I usually dream in color.
Oh shit! So you probably don't even know when you're dreaming.
No.
Oh, that's trippy. Yeah. I've only dreamed in color once, and that's because I had a really strong edible.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was crazy as fuck. I had it like right before bed, and then I was like, all right, off to bed, laid down, and started kicking in, and I was like knocked out. And everything in my dream was really colorful. And I was like, whoa, this must be what everyone else feels like. I didn't even realize I was dreaming till the end. And then I woke up and I told Ash, I was like, hey, I dreamed in color last night. She's like, what? And I was like, yeah, it must have been that edible. So I got to find that same one and try and replicate that experiment so I can do it again.
Yeah.
And just see. Because I'm a boring guy and I dream black and white. But sometimes like color, like it's like Sin City.
Yeah.
Where like certain things will be in color.
Okay, yeah.
So like some people's eyes will be in color, but everything else is black and white.
Everything's black and white.
It's weird. Strange. I'm a weird person.
That's weird.
But this is called the spirit molecule because it's like linked to your own brain.
Okay.
Some ancient native religions in the North, South, and Central America, they believe that the pineal gland was like your gateway to the spirit world because of this. So they knew this thousands of years ago, and we're only learning about it now with Western medicine.
Okay.
So DMT, I actually want to play a little clip here. I didn't even know about this till I started listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and he talks about DMT like crazy because he's done it like 5 times. There's several methods you can do DMT with. DMT, if you pull it out of plants naturally, you can synthesize it to like it almost looks like crystal meth, to be honest with you, but it's like yellow crystal meth. So it's like really shitty crystal meth.
Wow.
And you can put it in a little pipe and smoke it. And they say that if you do 3 hits, you go down the DMT rabbit hole. And the trip, if you do it, it only lasts from 5 to 15 minutes, and that's it. And you're confronted with colorful shapes and objects, and let's let Joe talk about it. I have a little clip here I want to play for everybody.
This is the story of DMT, or dimethyltryptamine, a simple compound found throughout nature which has profound effects on human consciousness.
DMT, even though it's the most powerful psychedelic drug known to man, it's in every single ecosystem all over the world. It exists in plants and grasses, and it's everywhere. I mean, it's really the craziest drug to be illegal everywhere because everyone's got it in their system. It's like everyone's holding. That was like Terrence McKenna's line. Yeah. And it's pretty intense stuff, man. If you do it, you will talk to intelligent beings from other dimensions, for real. I mean, it sounds crazy. You would think that if there's something like that it would be on the front page. It's amazing that people don't know about it. I mean, it's the most incredible experience. I mean, we are such an experience-obsessed society. I mean, everybody wants to go whitewater rafting, and people want to talk about, my uncle climbed Mount Everest. It's all about experiences. We all want to ride roller coasters and see the craziest movies. There is a little powder, and you smoke this little powder, and it will change the way you look at everything. You won't care about UFOs. If a UFO landed right out there, I'd be like, wow, yeah, they're probably from another planet. Whatever. It's not DMT. DMT is 100,000 times crazier than that. It's like mushrooms times 1,000,000 plus aliens. That's what it's like. And literally, I mean, it sounds, it's crazier than you could possibly imagine or describe. If you take DMT, you will communicate with something. And it's so beyond description that me talking about it is like trying to explain a kaleidoscope to a blind man. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like, there's no way you could explain it. I mean, it's so beyond anything you can explain. But something communicates with you when you do this stuff. And my words do it no justice. The craziest thing about DMT, because DMT is literally like having a meeting with God. It's like having a meeting with divine, unbelievably wise, incredibly loving energy, like whatever it is, the source of everything. And it leaves you so humbled that after it's over, you have it's like literally like you're still you still look like you still wear the same clothes you are, but you're not really you anymore. I mean, you literally have been changed. You know, you have experienced something that very few humans experience. And the thought to me that people can go through their entire lives and not know about this is an incredible waste of time. It's like your life could be so much more positive and so much more interesting and fascinating, and you would be so much more humble and aware of what you really are and where you really stand if you just have this experience. The crazy thing is you can get alcohol everywhere. You can go to Duane Reade and buy a jug of wine and get effed up, you know? I mean, we have drugs that are available. I mean, how many times you talk to a girl, oh, I don't do drugs. Meanwhile, she's hammered, smoking a cigarette. You know, I mean, everybody, there's drugs, caffeine. I mean, I'm drinking a coffee right now. It's sanctioned. It's a sanctioned drug because it's great for capitalism. It keeps you going, it keeps you working. But there's there's drugs out there that are actually good for you. There's drugs out there that are actually good for your mind. I do drugs because I find the state that psychedelic drugs put you in very fascinating and very introspective, and you can learn a lot about yourself. You can learn about a lot about life because it removes you and your ego from the equation. You get to look at things from like a newborn's perspective. That's why I do it. I don't do anything like, I don't do coke or meth or anything dangerous, anything that's addictive. I have never done coke. I've never done speed. I've never done heroin. I won't do anything that can hurt you. But psychedelic drugs, they're very different. With this big blanket that we put on everything, we call everything drugs. That's a broad term that encompasses everything from like NyQuil to DMT. You know, I mean, they're all drugs. I mean, they all affect your consciousness. It's like, how do they affect your consciousness, though? I'm not interested in anything that messes me up. I'm not interested in anything that gives me brain damage or anything that makes me, addicted to it. I'm only interested in things that can alter my state of consciousness for the better. It's very, very intense. But it's not dangerous. It's a human neurotransmitter. It's actually one of the most transient drugs ever exhibited in the body because your body brings it down to baseline really quickly. Your body brings it down to baseline in like 10 to 15 minutes. It's really crazy.
What's that mean, down to baseline?
It means, like, say if you have it, you're high, you go to that dimension, whoa, it blows out, and then whoa, 15 minutes later, you're back normal. And the crazy thing is, it's just like dreams. You know, you wake up and you're like, the craziest dream was me and my buddy Mike, and we were kids, but we had a sled, and my mom was there. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, what the hell was my dream?
Yeah.
That's exactly what a DMT trip was like. It's like gold dust slipping through your fingers.
I think Joe really explained that really well,
right?
In my opinion, yeah.
So DMT is definitely, it's endogenous. It comes as part of your own pineal gland. It's in your brain. The craziest fucking thing about this is that it's actually a Schedule 1 drug in the United States.
Really?
It is. It's illegal to manufacture, distribute, or sell DMT. And everyone has it on them right now. So we all have drugs on us at this moment.
Yeah.
And the stupid thing is, technically, your own pineal gland is illegal because of this. This is how dumb the government is. Sorry, I've said it before, I'll say it again. They're dumb. They're stupid. I love this country, but the government is retarded. It's the stupidest thing ever. So I mentioned, and Joe talked about it, you can do the crystal version of it, and it puts you down this rabbit hole for like 5 to 15 minutes. And it's almost like a dream where you see beings of pure light and energy, and maybe that's reality, like what you were talking about earlier, Matt.
Yeah.
Maybe that's actual reality, and that's a way for us to get through the simulation. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that, yeah.
And so there's that way, and then there's another way, and it's a way that I'd love to try. It's called ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is rich in DMT, and it's a tea that is brewed by Native American shamans, and it's native to South America, Central America, and there's some people that do it in Mexico as well. It's illegal in the U.S. to do, but I know that there are some churches in the U.S. that have legal sanctions that can perform ayahuasca ceremonies. And so it's like a whole ceremony, and they brew this tea, and the tea tastes like shit. And literally, like, it tastes like shit because it's brewed with leaves and bark and shit.
Yeah.
And you drink it, and it extends your DMT trip. So basically, from 5 to 15 minutes with the smoking, when you do ayahuasca, what you're actually doing is the reason why when you were to if you were to consume a plant with ayahuasca, you wouldn't feel anything because you have enzymes in your stomach that's going to destroy it.
Okay.
And so they pair the plant that has DMT in it with a plant that's an MAOI it's a MAO inhibitor. So it allows the DMT to travel into your bloodstream from your stomach. And so you go on a trip for hours. Hours, man. It's like nothing I've ever heard of before. I'm gonna put a video onto the description of Graham Hancock talking about ayahuasca. Graham Hancock's a famous writer and researcher, and he's a great guy. And he did like a TEDx talk, which is like not a non-official TED talk. Yeah. It's an independent TED talk about ayahuasca and its healing properties, and how people that have this experience with ayahuasca talk about they've had like addictions, or they've had like issues with like post-traumatic stress disorder, like soldiers and people that have been raped or something, and they do ayahuasca, and usually these ceremonies will last days. So like you do one ceremony one day, and then you do another one the next day, and then you do another one the next day. And usually by the third one, the likelihood that you will return to your addiction or your stressful mindset of that post-traumatic stress that you have is very low. It's so low that it actually beats traditional recovery centers here in the United States. So, for example, and this is something I'm going to talk about in a second, but there's another drug that will do this as well. But if you're an alcoholic, there's AA. If you're a narcotic addict, there's Narcotics Anonymous,
yeah.
or Narcanon or whatever.
Yeah.
Their success rate is only about 5%.
Okay.
These two organizations, and they will make no qualms. Yes, it's only about 5%, and it's all about buddy system and keeping everybody sober, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Ayahuasca and another drug called ibogaine, which comes from the iboga plant, are so effective that they're anywhere between 50 and 80% effective at keeping you away from your addiction.
What?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. And so this is something that when I was researching this is like wonderful. I can't believe this actually exists.
Yeah.
Everywhere but the US.
It amazes me how certain drugs have such good effects on you in life.
Because it rewires your brain.
It does, yeah. That's amazing to me. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
People just, continue to say that all drugs are bad.
Oh, no.
And there's some out there that are, meth, cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
All those other ones that aren't from the ground.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to be bad for you. But weed, DMT, and all this other stuff, it's like, man, they'll send you on trips, but they'll help you. Mm-hmm. They'll help you with everything in your life, man.
And they rewire your thinking. And the big thing that they do, which I think is what helps you deal with past traumas, is they won't only just cause visions, but they will literally, when you do ayahuasca, one of the things that happens is, first of all, you shit yourself like a motherfucker and you vomit like crazy. So sometimes you could be doing it at the same time. And the native people who brew the tea will often say, oh, this is your negative toxins coming out of your body. Mother Ayahuasca is healing you, and she's taking you and she's embracing you. And usually by the time that you have your third dose, that doesn't happen. And people always say, well, that's because by that time she's given you everything you needed. And you go back with a renewed mindset. And it's one of those things that I think old traditions can really teach new Western medicine something that it's not aware of. It doesn't have to go through the FDA. It doesn't have to be approved. It's something that's good for you. Iboga or ibogaine, is a treatment option for people as well. And what it does is it's similar to ayahuasca, but they'll put it in a pill form.
Okay.
And usually they have clinics down in Mexico. And this is usually for heroin addicts, but what they'll do is they'll like give you the pill and they'll give you like clinical supervision. And the pill will make you trip for hours. Like literally like hours. You'll be tripping fucking balls.
Oh.
But during that time, there's new neurons being formed and there's new connections in your brain being formed. And the big thing with these crazy, I guess, entheogens is that they allow your ego to die. And it's because people, you know, like when they've been hurt or like abused, they have like a wall there. Okay. And they always keep that wall. It's like a permanent shell around you. And in order to drop that, you have to maybe take a substance, even though you've been taking substances maybe.
Yeah.
And that substance will break that wall down. It will look at that wall, break through it, and laugh at you and cause you to look at yourself and know who you are. And that's what these things do. They tend to heal you from the inside out, literally from your soul outward. This is why I want to do, not that I need healing, but this is why I want to do ayahuasca, because I think it'd be an incredible experience. And I think it would allow me to confront any kind of demons hiding in my own past that I'm not aware of, you know? Yeah. And so I think I would recommend people do it.
That'd be an interesting thing to do in general.
I would love to do it.
Yeah.
I think it would be a great experience. And I think it'd be fantastic. There's other hallucinogens out there, like there's MDMA, which is ecstasy. Okay. And there's a great organization called MAPS that's working with the government on getting it approved to use with psychotherapy so that people that have been sexually abused or people that have been like in war and trauma can go through literally months and years of therapy in a matter of hours through taking MDMA, a pure MDMA tablet. Yeah, and engaging in psychotherapy with a team of psychotherapists, and they just release that pain instantly.
That's fucking crazy, man.
And MAPS is a great organization that's doing that. And people, if you want to donate to MAPS, they're actually looking to make some more MDMA for their next trials, and they need a lot of money right now. So I would recommend people go to them on their website, it's maps.org, and to check it out. The LSD, you've heard of that, right?
Yeah,
Matt?
Of course.
So it's acid. It stands for D-lysergic acid diethylamide. And it's one of these things that we watch Fringe. Yeah. We know Walter loves his LSD.
Oh, yeah, he does.
I think that would be an incredible experience to drop LSD and then go in a tank. Oh, but it would also be amazingly bad for you.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea, to be honest.
Oh, no. I've never done acid, and I am frightened.
I will never in my life. Maybe when I'm about to die.
Yeah. And actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. The famous writer Aldous Huxley, the guy who wrote Brave New World and The Island, he actually, when he was about to die, he asked his wife, give me 25 nanograms of LSD.
Oh, shit.
And she injected him with LSD, and he went peacefully.
Wow.
Yeah. And he tripped out as he was dying. I think that's one of the best ways to go. And I think, as I'm dying, I think that'd be a great experience maybe. But hopefully by then DMT is legal and they can just drip DMT into me, because I heard that if you do DMT intravenously, it's actually the most potent form and the most controlled form because you're in a medical setting. But so that's one of the things. And our guest on the third part of this episode has done LSD, and he's going to talk about that experience with us. THC, we know what that's. We know what that is, but it's technically considered an entheogen. It's really like a low grade one. Yeah, you really can't classify weed.
No,
it's not a hallucinogen.
It's not, but it takes you. It takes you on a trip.
It gets you higher.
It gets you high,
and it's not like alcohol.
It makes you happy.
It makes you happy. It elevates you.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you do like an edible, that's when it could possibly turn into like a bit of a LSD trip. Not an LSD trip, but like a mild hallucinogen. Yeah. To where shit starts to bend in your vision, and you're like, whoa, the TV's fucking bending. Yeah. And especially if you do like high dose edibles, which I don't recommend people doing without experience. But that's one thing people do. Something that I would like to try is psilocybin, which is like magic mushrooms. So there's several forms of magic mushrooms. One is the Amanita muscaria. It's like the red top with the dots on it. Whoa. And then there's like golden glory, which is like, they're like little yellow mushrooms. And these are all powerful mushrooms that will cause you to trip like crazy.
Yeah.
And there's actually a town in Mexico, which when I go, I'd like to go visit them. It's a town called Huatla de Jimenez. And there is a woman there they have a statue of her. She's really famous. And she's called like Sabine something or other.
Sabine.
And they actually, instead of doing like regular church ceremonies where they give you the bread and the wine, they give you a mushroom.
Huh.
And you trip.
You get to trip out.
Yeah, you get to trip out. And they use it all the time.
Holy shit.
And people like, especially people that have like addictions to alcohol, they give them mushrooms and it actually gets them off of the alcohol because it's introspective. It causes you to look inward and to be like, whoa, I'm a fuck up. I need to stop fucking up, you know? And so I actually want to go visit them and do a mushroom ceremony if I can.
Damn, that'd be pretty gnarly of you.
And they harvest them naturally. They grow on the mountainside naturally there. They also do, salvia there. Salvia is here, but they do a salvia ceremony there where you actually eat the salvia. And you eat like 30 leaves and you trip fucking balls for hours. And it's one of these things where it's like, it kind of opens up your mind. And one of the side effects of salvia is that you laugh hysterically.
Uncontrollably, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's you just Google salvia on YouTube. You're gonna see a ton of videos of idiots doing this, and it's similar to kind of like peyote that Native Americans in America do. It's a wild cactus that
it's common.
Yeah, it's common when you dry it. You can smoke it, or when you dry it, you can put it into a tea. It tastes like shit, but it trips you out for hours.
Yeah,
and that's also an entheogen, but the psilocybin thing, I want to go back to that because I talked to you about the stoned ape theory. Yeah. So you kind of know about that.
A little bit, yeah.
And the basic premise is like we were once apes, right?
Yes.
And then now we are higher apes. We're humans.
Yeah.
Now. We're Homo sapiens now.
Yeah.
And the reason why we maybe made that leap from tree dwellers to people that use tools to communicate and build shit is that somewhere along the line, one of our ancestors tripped on mushrooms, and their brain formed connections that could not be formed. Terence McKenna, actually, I believe it's Terence McKenna, that believes this theory that the reason why we are what we are is because of mushrooms. Because mushrooms aren't really like a plant.
No,
they're fungi.
Yeah,
and they're kind of their cells. If you look down at a mushroom cell, is more like an animal than it is a plant. And so they're kind of like beings. They're like little beings.
They grow in our grass.
Yeah, they grow on the grass. They grow on the ground. They grow in networks. Like there's networks of mushrooms.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like Earth is like giving you like an answer there. And you're like, oh, let me just take this and see what goes on. And then boom, your eyes dilate and you're open and you're like, oh, fuck, I can hear everything and feel everything. And I can taste sound and feel music.
Earth is giving you a free drug to heaven.
Yeah, well, like a free drug, but like a drug with a purpose, you know?
Yeah.
So the stoned ape theory is one of those things that it has to do with changing our consciousness from an animal, like a lower animal, to a higher animal. So something that is aware of itself and giving us a higher consciousness. That's a possibility. Salvia, back to the salvia. I've had a salvia experience.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I told you about it.
Yeah, you told me.
And my buddy, who's going to be here on the 3rd episode, has had a salvia experience. We did it together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember now.
And I kind of want to keep that.
Leave it.
I'll leave it for the third episode. But I have done salvia, and it is as powerful as you think it is. It's fantastic, and it does kind of make you think outside the box afterward. It kind of puts you in a haze, and you think differently. Much more differently. And I definitely opened my mind up to wanting to try other hallucinogens. So I think this whole like altered states thing, it like puts you a little bit out of yourself, and it kind of breaks down that ego, which is the thing that blocks you, you know, like between you and me, Matt. Yeah. So there's these microphones, these pop filters, this computer, this desk, right?
Yes.
But other than this physical awareness, there is also like an emotional barrier there, right?
Yes.
Like there's also literally like a wall, and that wall is your ego and my ego, and that will never unify. That will always be there. Now, let's say we were to drop everything here, we'll walk over there, and then we do some drugs, we do some mushrooms,
Yeah.
I think by the end of this, we would be hugging each other on the floor.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah.
we would probably be dropping our ego, and this whole like we wouldn't care if we were macho or not. We would just want to be close to each other. That kind of thing. Yeah. Not that I don't want to be close to you. I do, but you know what I mean. And I think that's the main thing with these drugs. And I know I'm willing to try some.
Yeah.
I know maybe you are.
No, yeah. It's an interesting, very interesting concept with just these different types of drugs just make you feel these different types of things.
What do you think can be gained from taking them, though? Do you think anything can be gained, or do you think they're important in society we should look at them more importantly?
I think it can make you more, I don't know, I'm just gonna say like knowledgeable about the world in general, about the way you think. It makes, I don't want to say smarter, but
open-minded.
More open-minded, yeah. Maybe more open-minded than before. I really think so, yeah. I think that's the main reason why they're out there, like DMTs and everything.
Yeah.
I think it's just to make you more aware, and yeah.
You think it's like Earth telling us, like, cool down a bit. You don't know everything.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, we know everything. We've been here forever.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
They're giving you a free pass.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's definitely something good can be gained from losing that ego there.
Yeah.
The thing that does kind of freak me out a bit, and it's kind of a well-known thing that, like, if you have schizophrenia or bipolar disease, you definitely shouldn't be.
Oh no, I think that's a bad idea to do that.
Yeah,
I really do.
Especially if you have schizophrenia, right? You're already possibly hallucinating.
You're gonna lose the fucking crazy. You're gonna lose it, man.
Yeah, it's not good for you.
No, it's not.
So I think the only way to really do this is like, if you're already decent enough in your mental state where you don't have some sort of mental disorder.
Yeah.
And not to disparage anybody with schizophrenia, but, I mean, that's something that's out of their control. But taking something like this could really fuck you up even more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for people like you and me, which I know I don't have schizophrenia. I'm pretty sure you don't.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure you're not bipolar, and I'm pretty sure I'm not bipolar. No. So I think it would be okay if we were to do something like that under supervision. And I would always encourage anybody who does want to do that to explore their consciousness as being supervised. Like, always have a sober spotter.
Yeah.
Always. And I think when I do try mushrooms, I will definitely have a sober spotter, because I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna
need 10.
I will need people to hold me down. It's gonna be like Ricky on PCP. I'm gonna come out and be like, fucking hey, I fucked this table, and start breaking shit.
Live streaming soon, Ricky.
Ricky on a mushroom trip.
Ricky's on a mushroom trip. That's gonna be a live stream to remember.
Well, next episode, we're actually gonna be on our way to the tank.
Yes.
And so, you've never done that.
No, I haven't.
What are you expecting?
I'm really excited. I expect my mind to be open so much more than now.
Okay.
Because I really want to explore more in my mind. Because right now I'm learning from you. You're telling me all this stuff that I never knew before, and it's really interesting to me.
I don't want to be a bad role model for you. I feel bad.
Oh no, I don't care. Okay. Dude,
I'm like, do some drugs, man.
Chill.
Like I'm fucking Vietnam. What's his face from Born on the 4th of July? Tom Cruise.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I'm just like some crazy Vietnam War vet, drug addict or some shit.
Take those drugs, kitty.
Take those drugs.
But you telling me all this stuff and listen to consciousness and the way your mind and everything, how or the cell memory, for example.
Yeah.
You know, it really just makes me think more, and I kind of really want to get into that tank, and I really want to explore every single possibility that I can in my mind to open up a lot more than how it is now.
Right.
And I can't wait to experience that. I'm excited. I really can't wait, man.
So one of the things that I like about the tank is that it's a natural way to explore your consciousness. Mm-hmm. It's drug free, and not that I'm not going to be sober, but I won't be. But that's because I've already done it sober before. Yeah. I've experienced it sober. I want to try it not sober just to see what it's like. But it's essentially, for those of you who don't know, but the tank is essentially, it looks like a giant meat locker. It literally does. It looks like a giant meat locker. You can walk into it and close the door behind you. It's about 11 inches of water on the floor. And in that water, there is thousands of pounds of Epsom salt. And that so many pounds of salt causes you to float. You can try, and I've tried when I was in the tank last time. I was like trying to force my arms down, and you can go down, and then the second you give in, it just shoots your arms right back up. So no matter what you do, your ass is floating. If you're like a fucking 900-pound person, maybe you would sink, but I'm pretty sure if you're a normal person, like a normal sized person, you're gonna float no matter what. So you actually have to go, and the place we're going is over here in it's in West LA. It's a great place, and I heard about it on Joe Rogan's podcast, which is why I went last time. But it's thousands of pounds of salt. When you close the door, it's pitch black. You can't see shit. Whether your eyes are open or your eyes are closed, you're not seeing anything. And the water is the same temperature as your skin. So when you're floating, you start to lose feeling of your body. And because there's a lack of sensory input into your brain, your brain takes over and it starts to shoot you through fucking hyperspace. And you start to see things and feel things, and it kind of puts you into the mode that, what am I doing? What's going on in my life at this time? You know, and you can kind of think about it better. And it's quiet. So you actually go, you take a shower before. So that day you can't wear any products. You take a shower, and if the shower's provided for you, then you walk into the tank butt naked, and you lay down in the water, close the door behind you, and you just let go for 2 hours. And as you come out of it, they'll knock on the door or they'll play music, usually to wake you up. You go, you shower the salt off, and you've lived with that experience. And I won't talk about what I felt last time, but I will talk about it on the next episode. Because last time it took me so long to get relaxed. And I think it's going to do the same for you. So my advice for you prior to going is just let go.
Just let go, yeah.
Let go and stop thinking. The best way to do it is lay down, stop thinking, count your breaths 1 through 10. So breathe in, 1, out, 2, and then do that so that every exhale is like an even number and every inhale is an odd number. And when you're doing that, get up to 10 and then start right back at the beginning again. And just focus on that breath. And then once you do that, like if you could meditate a little bit beforehand, that might help too. It'll get you into this mode where you're just instantly relaxed and you let go. The second you let go, that's when you start to see some trippy ass shit. The craziest thing is I went with my brother last time and we saw the same shit.
Really?
Oh, it was crazy. It was almost like we were communicating. But we were in different rooms. It was strange. But this is actually for your birthday, Matt. So this is your birthday present.
It is my birthday present.
And I hope that you enjoy it.
I will.
I am definitely going to enjoy it because I'm going to take a mild edible. And next week, we're just going to blast off. We're going to see what the fuck this
into
feels
space.
like.
Shot Talk is going to space, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God. But that's it for this episode. We're definitely going to be looking forward to your views and anything you have to say. And we want to thank you so much. And, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Subscribe on YouTube, iTunes.
Yes, please subscribe on iTunes.
Yeah,
we
iTunes,
need more numbers.
We are. What's the numbers up right now?
I have no
iTunes?
fucking idea.
You have no idea?
I have no idea. But as of this last episode, we have over 245 unique people listening to us. So
thank you.
We want to grow. Definitely, iTunes is the #1 source. If you want to get us from there, we're on Stitcher. You can get us from our website. Rate and review us on iTunes. That would help us so much. And support us. Spread the word. Download our episodes. And anything, that you want to throw out there that we want to talk about, or you're interested in us talking about it, let us know.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
We're always up for ideas. We would love for some feedback. We would love for some feedback. That'd be awesome.
But just listen to us and let us know what you think. Definitely, we want to thank every single one of you people. We love you. We couldn't do this without you. And in the future, we hope that you want to stick with us and keep listening to us bullshit with each other. And that's definitely something that we would like doing, bullshitting with each other.
Exactly. We love doing it every single day.
Oh yeah, all the time. I bullshit myself most of my life.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
So I guess thank you, and we'll see you on the next episode where we're actually going to the fucking tank.
Part 2.
And I just want to say I love you.
I love you too.
I love you, Matt.
I love you, Ricky.
Oh my god. This is the best day of my life. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, people.
Peace out.
Take it easy.